All right, folks, meteorologist Joe Haynes here with you. Hope you're having a nice Saturday. Let's get you updated on what's going on weather-wise. If you got plans to go to all the Mardi Gras festivities here for your Saturday evening, the weather's going to be just fine. And it was a great day, too, if you did enjoy some of the activities, the African-American Parade Celebration, Centaur, Texarkana. What do you got? The Mardi Gras upriver there in Jefferson, all of it, fabulous weather for it. Cooler than Friday. Remember, Friday we were in the 80s. Today, well, the 60s. Not, still above average according to the Shreveport National Weather Service, folks. 66 the high, 48 the low. 39 to 61 is that 30-year average, and no records according to their records keepers there. KTBS 3 weather watchers, I don't have too many reports right now, but I'll get more later on today or into the evening hours, and we'll get a little more representation of the Archaeopteryx. But what I did have, highs in the 60s for Brian Loper in Atlanta, Reed Eisenhower in Texarkana there in the 60s, Bob Finchers in Bellevue earlier on the Saturday was close to 60, most likely made it well into the 60s by afternoon. Kay Berry and Stonewall, one of the warmer spots at the time, was in the upper 60s, and didn't have any reports at press time there for the metro area, but most likely the 60s. 66 there in the late afternoon, 65, that was in Shreveport, 65 in Texarkana, 64 in Minden, low 60s in Ruston, 67, comfortable day down in Natchitoches, what a wonderful day there, Marshall. 68, Jefferson, most likely in the 60s. If you interpolate from Atlanta to Marshall, I'm sure it was mid to high 60s in Jefferson. Good for that Mardi Gras and Texarkana there. And Idabel checking in at 64 for an afternoon high. Wilsonite and Mega 3 Doppler radar, not showing any precipitation. Very stable atmosphere out there, low humidity, comfortable day, and more of that, where that came from for your Sunday, although the clouds will be in the increase. No precipitation expected out of those clouds, so 0% chance of measurable rain as we go through your Saturday night. And it looks like dry weather conditions for your Sunday, and I don't think we'll have too many complaints there, even though we could use some moisture, just not in the cards until possibly the middle of next week due to that little weather disturbance out there off of Baja, California. But otherwise, the jet stream's bowing up to the north as a ridge, and that means warm and stable weather for us. And that's what we're looking at as we head on into your Sunday. And the ridge will probably be a weather maker for much of the week as we go into the work and school week of next week. It looks like we'll stay very warm there as compared to where we have been with that ice storm and all that business. Satellite and radar for your Saturday afternoon. Over a couple hour period there, you see some high clouds working up across the western part of Texas. Those high clouds will translate toward us, so we'll see a bit of an increase in the cloud cover for the rest of the weekend. But you see some rain out near El Paso, not expecting any of that rain to make it in our neck of the woods until possibly the middle part of the week. But that cloudiness and precipitation is due to that little upper level system out off of Baja, California. That'll be our weather maker for the middle part of next week. Afternoon temperatures on Saturday, look at that, 84 down in Austin, 80 in San Angelo. So that's what we had yesterday until that weak front kind of came through overnight and cooled us down a little bit. Well, that business will be coming right back, at least the 70s to near 80 degrees for the next several days. So do expect, if you like warm weather, increasing humidity too, but warm weather, you're in business for an extended period of time. So as we go into tonight, lows in the 40s for the most part in the Archaeopteryx, perhaps the upper 30s there near the Queen and up toward Idabel. And then tomorrow, mid to high 70s, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than where we ended up on your Saturday, or where we've been on Saturday. A quick warm up as that cold front that moved through overnight, it backs up to the north as a warm front as that upper level ridge builds in. So here's the jet stream forecast. So we get into your Sunday afternoon, that little area of disturbed weather or Baja, California is still hanging out there and still fairly strong. As for us, well, the jet stream, a little dip in the jet stream up to our north, helping to facilitate some high clouds around our area. But notice how, so the jet stream winds, upper level river wind blows parallel to these lines at this elevation. This is the, well, for meteorological terms, 500 millibar surface map there. So we're looking at probably 18,000 or better, 20,000 feet, probably down south, and lower altitude up north. But bottom line is close enough to the jet stream to give you an idea of the flow. So we're still looking at a ridge and very warm conditions around our part of the world, and a very cold air staying up in Canada because the flows from west to east. It's not diving down from the north to the south. So most of the country warming up quite a bit with this type of weather pattern. This is Monday afternoon, and that upper level system still hanging out in Baja California, at least the model proposes. And then it makes it into an open wave, which is a weaker setup for it. And it comes our way. So it's in West Texas as we get into your Tuesday afternoon. And so that could bring us a little bit of rain. It's on the east side of that dashed line that you're going to see your inclement weather, where you have the lift, the dynamics that are making for precipitation and clouds. On the backside of it is where you have the stability come back into place. So that weather system works through, and by Wednesday afternoon, it's off to our east, and behind it stabilizes quite a bit. In fact, a ridge really amplifies, and thus we warm up and have decent weather there. And so that keeps us warm for much of the week is the way it appears now, and we stay with that possibly into next weekend with very warm weather. So here's the surface reflection of all this business, the cold fronts and the low pressure system and all that. Showers and a few thunderstorms. Not so much Tuesday, it looks right now. It's changed its tune over the past 24 hours. But possibly by Tuesday night into Wednesday, you see a little bit of green on the map. We could have some rain. It doesn't look like a big weather maker for us. The disturbance kind of just works on by and leaves the surface reflection in the dust there. And that pretty much fizzles out, falls apart, and a new system starts developing out to the west on the other side of the ridge there. So that weather feature, it's not a big weather maker for the middle part of the week, but again, that's probably our best chance of measurable rain. Right now, the current thinking with the computer model is we could have perhaps a half-inch of rain, maybe a little bit more, but still early in the forecast thinking. It's already changed over the past 24 hours, but bottom line is perhaps the middle part of the week, a chance of rain, and then perhaps the latter part of next week, a chance of rain. But until then, it's a very warm forecast. If you like springtime conditions in the Arklatex, I mean, we're getting close to spring. It's February now, and we don't have winter weather for too long in these parts. But if you like warm weather, you got it for the next 7 days. That's the way I'm thinking. Okay, so we'll start with you Sunday. Still kind of chilly in the morning. We're in the 40s, but above average for this time of year. High 70s for the afternoon. That south wind helps to warm things up. The upper level ridge also there. High clouds are streaming in from that weather disturbance out in Baja California, so it won't be as pretty a day, but still not the worst day either. Monday, now notice the morning temperatures in the 50s. We start seeing the humidity increase at night, and so the low clouds kind of working up from the Gulf of Mexico at night. Upper 70s by afternoon when the sun peeks through those clouds. And then Tuesday, we're nearly 60 degrees for the morning temperature, probably some fog out there to start the day. Then we're in the mid to high 70s in the afternoon. A few sprinkles possible, but not a big chance of rain. But that rain chance perhaps coming into play Tuesday night and the Wednesday. Again, it's not the biggest and strongest system, but that appears right now to be the next chance of rain for us. Highs in the 70s on Wednesday, lows near 60, so very humid forecast there. And then Thursday, still a bit unsettled weather around us. Perhaps a little sunshine, a little bit warmer there amongst the clouds in the afternoon, highs in the mid to high 70s. And then for the latter part of the week, a weak cold front may try to settle into the area and kind of oscillate back and forth. That being the case, that may keep us near 70 degrees for highs and lows in the mid 50s, but it's kind of a wishy-washy forecast that far out. There's a possibility we could have some pretty good thunderstorms next Friday night, early Saturday, but it's just too much uncertainty in that extended forecast for, say, next Friday and the Saturday. So if you're making plans that far out, of course, we got the crew of Gemini coming up there in the Highland Parade, all that business we got to look forward to in the Arklatex. So we'll keep you advised as conditions warrant. In the meantime, that forecast will probably change in intensity and timing. So we'll keep you advised, but at least until the middle part of the week, looking at some great weather, just increasingly humid and a very warm forecast. Well, anyway, that's it for right now. We'll get you updated later on this evening. We got a lot of parade coverage to go through, so do enjoy that on KTBS Channel 3 and KPXJ CW 21. And of course, we'll see you back later on tonight, I believe at 9 o'clock on KPXJ CW 21 and 10 o'clock on KTBS Channel 3. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thanks for watching.